Okay, so we're going to be looking at Workbook Activity 10. Keep in mind that this is the first time that I do this one. I do this one before we do it in class, just so that, you might want to watch a little bit ahead always before copying down what I'm doing because I might change my mind about halfway through. Okay, so anyways, we're starting on page number 47 in the textbook PDF. And I'm scrolling down here. We're going to be using the average function, formatting text orientation, and formatting time. Great. Okay, let's see here. Key in the data as shown. Okay, so let's get started on putting in the data. Again, I give this to you simply because I don't want these to turn into huge assignments all about keyboarding. Start with keying them in because I know a few students are still having trouble here. Okay, note that my cursor is inside of the cell. It's pretty much over the letter E in the word excellent, but that cursor is entirely in the cell. I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down, drag over. Okay, now I'm finishing up inside this cell right here. Good. Copy it, Control C. Come back over here. Make sure I'm in cell Alpha 1, Control V. And did it work? Something went wrong. Control Z. Okay, let's go back and have a look and see what went wrong. Usually that doesn't happen. I thought I was inside the cell. Almost always when that happens, what's happened is you're not inside the cell. So what I'm going to do here, because it didn't work for me that way, is I'm going to start in this cell here because it almost always works going the other way. Okay, note I left the E off. I'll just key that letter E in, Control C. Now I'm going to come back over here to this cell right here, Control V, and there it went. Like I say, just backspace E, put in that extra row, select the row by left clicking directly on the row number, right click, delete row. Okay, now we've keyed in the data as shown. Let me just scroll down and make absolutely sure that we really have. Yeah. Yep, and there's even this blank line right here in row 16. So everything is just the way they've got it keyed. No, it isn't. We need to add one more word here. Not a big deal. So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to type in wait time. They do have it in lowercase. Now I hit enter. Now I'm going to go ahead and select on this word right here. I'm going to go to the autofill button right here, and I'm just going to fill over. Good. Okay, now I've typed wait time into all of those cells like I should have. Okay, that looks like I've now got everything keyed in as shown. And that was step number 1. Select cells A6 through A7. Okay, let's come down here. A6 through A7. That's interesting. What are we going to do in cells? And use the autofill to fill in the series. Okay, let me just come down here and see what they're telling me to do. Okay, they just want, gotcha. Okay, so we're just going to go observation. Oops. And they have their lowercase 1, enter. I hit the arrow key once it did that. And I came up here and clicked on that, backspace 2, enter. Now I'm just going to select these two right here. Remember, I did that by moving the cursor into the center of a cell, pressing and holding, dragging down. I'm going to grab the autofill button and drag down to there. Okay, looks like I need to widen up this column a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, let's see what's next. Oops, I went way too far. Okay. Come on. Okay. The weird noises you might be hearing, just as a comment, is probably my dog he's making his usual sounds down there. Okay. Zoom, fit width. Sorry, it took me a few seconds to get back to where I was. Okay, so hopefully you've got that part done. Okay, so that was step number 2. Select cell A3 and format to 16 point A3. Over here is 16 an option. It's not, so I just have to type it in, 16, enter. Good. While we're at it, let's make all this text black. It just, sometimes it bothers, sometimes I notice, sometimes I don't. I'm just going to click right here. I'm going to come over here to the text color, and I'm going to go ahead and choose. You notice it's set to a custom color because it's actually this close to dark gray number 4. I'm just going to go ahead and click on black. Okay, I just think it looks a little bit better. Okay, select cells A. Really, they didn't want us to center the top one. Hold it. Select cell A3 and format. Yep. Select cell A3 through K3 and center align and merge. You know what? Somehow looks like I already did that here. Like I already merged them. I don't know why I would have merged it before I had you guys do it, but it looks like I already merged it. Okay. Good. Now let's see what's next here. Rotate the name positions in cell B4 through K4 to display at a 90-degree angle. Okay, this one's kind of new. And I will say that the way that Google does it is kind of ugly. You'll see that it will be done slightly different in Excel. And I'll remember to mention that to you in class on how it's done differently. But we're just going to come down here to rotation, and you can see I'm going to go to 90 degrees, tilt up, and there you go. It was that easy. It's just sort of a weird way of doing it. And I will tell you, when I did this once before, it came out a lot uglier. So if it does come out super ugly, like these words are all chopped up and makes no sense, you'll need to go here and just make that row 4 bigger. Okay, so if it comes out super ugly, just to let you know, that's what went wrong. Okay, next. Something tells me I did this and then undid everything so that it would work easy for you guys. Okay, select cell B5 through K5 and center align. Okay, this is the only thing in row 5. So we're just going to go ahead and select row 5 and center align. Good. Okay, now select cells B6 through K15 and select a format that shows hour, minute, second, if necessary. And it's already showing this way here. Okay, so I notice it says if necessary because it looks like we've already got that. So next, to calculate the average wait time in cell B17, so I'm going to come down here. Now it's pretty obvious. You can see that this column's not wide enough. So again, I'm just going to come up here between the A and the B and make that a little bit wider. Okay, so now in column B17, we're going to go in and type equals average equals. It really doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. And rather obviously, I'm going to select these right here, making sure B6 through B15. So I typed in equals average. Now, there's 2 things you can do here. I'm going to do it both ways, so I won't do the autofill, but you can just do it one of the 2 ways right now. I'll show. Okay, the first thing to do that I normally do is I'll come here to the center of B6. I'll press and hold the left mouse button down and simply select all of the cells that I want to average and hit enter. Done. Okay, and we've got an average wait time right there. Now that's one way of doing it. The other way you could have done it is kind of the way the book says to do it, which is to literally type in B6 colon, and that's the shifted character to the immediate right of the letter L. It's the 2 dots through, and the colon I now say through B15. Close parenthesis, shifted 0, did the exact same thing. Okay, and it's going to tell us to go ahead and use autofill to enter that into the rest of the ride numbers here. So we're just going to go right there. Make sure you're on that autofill button. We're going to come over here to K17. Notice I've got my cursor in the center of the cell when I release. There we go. We now have average ride wait times. Those numbers seem a little low. I guess so. Okay. Anyways, okay, next. Guess what? You've already averaged them. Now, I don't like that they started you doing something with time for your very first use of average because it is a little bit harder to do in your head because, of course, these are not decimals of 10, they're seconds of 60. And so it makes it a little bit harder to do, and I know that. But Basically, again, we did wait time. For average, we used the mean average. There are other ways of calculating average, but we're not going to get into those right now. There's mean, median, and mode are the three main ones. When you say average, it's going to use mean average. And we say mean, that's the one you're used to from math class here, which is you add up all the numbers, you divide by n, or n is the number of numbers. Okay. And so that was basically it. There wasn't much else done on this assignment. No, I am looking and I don't see anything else that they really want done here, except centering the print area. But quite simply, we're not doing the printing. So, yeah, you're done.